You're watching the president describe a ballroom project as ahead of schedule and under budget that he says is funded entirely by himself and donors, not one dime of government money, while explaining that the military is building a massive complex underneath it that has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit. Trump just stood in front of reporters and walked through what sounds like a construction update on a ballroom that's the exact same height as the White House, designed to pay tribute and pay total homage to the White House by being almost a twin. He emphasizes the bulletproof glass on the windows, says the Times reported some windows are fake, but we have no fake windows, mentions a stairway the Times wrote about that was replaced a long time ago. Then he pivots to what's underneath. The military is building something under the ballroom, a big complex for protection from drones and any other thing. The ballroom essentially becomes a shed for what's being built below. This became public because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed. He's describing this while saying, "I'm so busy. I'm fighting wars and other things, but this is very important because this is going to be with us for a long time. It'll be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world." What you're about to hear is the President of the United States giving a construction briefing about a privately funded ballroom that doubles as cover for a military complex, and why he thinks replicating the White House's height is a priority while fighting wars.
What's your timeline on this? Timeline, so we're ahead of schedule and under budget. And all of this money, all of the money paid is paid by myself and donors. It's all donors. There's not one dime of government money going into the ballroom. How the military is building a big complex under the ballroom, which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed. But the military is building a massive complex under the ballroom, and that's under construction, and we're doing very well. So we're ahead of schedule. That's part of it. The ballroom essentially becomes a shed for what's being built under the military, including from drones and including from any other thing. The glass on the windows, you see the big windows, the glass is extremely thick. It's high-grade bulletproof glass. So all of the windows are bulletproof. I think the Times wrote, "Gee, some of the windows are fake. We have no fake windows." They talked about a stairway in the south. We don't have a stairway in the south. And that was replaced a long time ago. But this is a view of it from the north. And that's, if you see it, it fits in with the White House. It's almost a twin to the White House. It's something we just wanted to pay tribute to the White House. And so that fits in beautifully. Let me just see another one. Here's another one. Excuse me. Wait. I thought I'd do this now because it's easier. I'm so busy that I don't have time to do this. But I'm fighting wars and other things. But this is very important because this is going to be with us for a long time. And it's going to be, I think it'll be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world. It's its highest level. Same height, exact height, if not higher. Same height as the White House, exactly the same height. And if you look, so you have the White House over here, you have this, and that's a duplicate of the wall. So it pays total homage to the White House, which is, I think, very important.
What Trump did in that briefing wasn't just an odd construction update. It was a demonstration of how presidential priorities get revealed through what gets time and attention, and why a detailed explanation of ballroom architecture while claiming to be too busy fighting wars tells you what actually matters to the person speaking. If you understand what he emphasizes and what he dismisses, you'll see how personal legacy projects consume presidential focus regardless of what's happening elsewhere. Start with the framing. Trump opens by saying he's so busy and fighting wars, but decided to do this briefing now because it's easier. And this is very important because it's going to be with us for a long time. That's a priority statement. He's too busy to brief on war strategy, diplomatic negotiations, or domestic policy in detail. But he has time for a multi-minute explanation of ballroom height, window glass thickness, and architectural homage to the White House. The implicit message is that this construction project is as important as the wars he's supposedly fighting. Then there's the funding claim. Trump emphasizes multiple times that this is paid for by himself and donors, not one dime of government money. But if that's true, why is he giving a presidential briefing about it? Private construction projects don't typically warrant Oval Office press conferences. The fact that he's using presidential time and platform to promote a privately funded building suggests either the distinction between personal and presidential has collapsed, or the funding claim isn't as clean as stated. The military complex revelation is where this gets structurally strange. Trump says the military is building a massive complex under the Ballroom, which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed. He's simultaneously confirming the existence of classified military construction while complaining that a lawsuit forced its disclosure. That's not how classified projects are supposed to work. If it's legitimately classified for security reasons, the president shouldn't be confirming details in a press briefing to defend architecture choices. The Ballroom becomes a shed description is particularly revealing. He's saying the visible structure is essentially cover for what's underneath. Military infrastructure for drone defense, and any other thing. That makes the Ballroom claim that it's privately funded and not using government money, misleading at best. If the structure's primary purpose is to conceal military construction, it's functionally a government project regardless of who paid for the ballroom floor and chandelier. The White House height obsession exposes the real priority. Trump mentions multiple times that the ballroom is the exact same height as the White House, designed to pay tribute and pay total homage. He shows architectural renderings emphasizing how it fits in with the White House and looks like almost a twin. This isn't about function. It's about symbolic replication. He's building something that mimics the White House in scale and appearance because proximity to presidential iconography matters more than the building's actual purpose. The New York Times correction is classic Trump media engagement. He says the Times reported fake windows and a southern stairway, both of which he disputes. Whether the Times actually got those details wrong or Trump is mischaracterizing their reporting, the fact that he's dedicating press conference time to correcting architectural details in news coverage shows where his focus is. Not on policy implications of military construction under private property, but on whether reporters accurately described his windows. The timeline context makes this stranger. Trump gives this briefing while saying he's fighting wars and doesn't have time for detailed updates. But we're not getting war briefings with architectural renderings and material specifications. We're getting ballroom briefings with those details. That's a choice about what information the president believes the public needs and what he wants to spend time explaining. The greatest ballroom anywhere in the world claim is pure Trumpian superlative, but it's telling that he applies that language to architecture rather than policy outcomes. He doesn't say we're building the greatest healthcare system or the most effective military. He says we're building the greatest ballroom, and he frames it as personal legacy. This is going to be with us for a long time. The us is ambiguous. Does he mean the country, his administration, or his family? The interchangeability suggests he doesn't see a distinction. What's entirely missing is any explanation of why this deserves presidential time. If it's privately funded, why is he briefing on it? If it's covering military construction, why is he disclosing that? If it's important because it'll last a long time, why is replicating White House height the primary design achievement he emphasizes? None of these questions get answered because the briefing assumes the project's importance is self-evident. If any of this concerns you, recognize that presidential attention is finite and presidential briefings signal priorities. When the president spends more time explaining ballroom architecture than war strategy, more energy correcting press coverage of windows than addressing policy crises, you're learning what he considers important. And when personal construction projects that replicate White House aesthetics get detailed public explanations while claiming to be too busy for other briefings, legacy branding has replaced governing as the primary presidential function.